Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's AMA. We're going to run over what's been happening in the past week and what we plan to do in the next few days. It's been a busy week as almost always with the project, and I'm going to hand you over to Herman now in just a moment, and he's going to take you through what's been happening. Um, at the top level of company direction, and especially what's been going on with the development effort. As you all know, at the moment we're very busy uh, at the process of the EVM launch, which Herman's going to tell us a little bit more about. Are you there, Herman?
Yes, thank you, Owen. Hello, everybody. Indeed, I do have some updates regarding the EVM parachain launch. We are about to finalize the timeline. I'm going to share the tentative timeline that we set ourselves, but this is quite loose. As mentioned last time, we reserved 2 weeks. I mentioned this last time. We reserved 2 weeks to finalize the EVM compatibility parachain launch on mainnet. We will meet the 2-week target, but tentatively, the release will begin today, where we will begin with a version bump from 9.36 to 9.43 on testnet. If this is successful, the very same version bump will be performed on mainnet, probably tomorrow. By Friday night, once the mainnet relay chain version bump is complete, we will deploy the EVM compatibility parachain. The deployment may take between a few hours and a few days. I do expect it'll be complete by Wednesday, so in 1 week's time. What else is there to add? Many of you have asked or have been waiting for this update in view of the bridge back from Cherry mainnet to BSC and Polygon. This route will be opened, I'd say, within 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks after the EVM parachain is released on mainnet. Once again, this will allow people to bridge tokens that are currently staked or deposited on their Cherry wallets. Well, first of all, abstract them over to the EVM compatibility layer native to the EVM compatibility parachain sitting on top the Cherry relay chain on mainnet. And once it's there, bridge them or route them, more properly said, over to these external but compatible networks. BSC, or rather BNB network, and Polygon. With that, I think I'll finish today's update. Last week, I went on and on about ecosystem concerns and calculations about what we as incubator, as well as stewards of this broader, let's call it non-profit effort that is Cherry Network, the infrastructure, what we can do to alleviate the situation for existing holders and stakeholders, as well as prepare and leverage our assets for a brighter future. If you're interested in that, just refer to that AMA. Maybe I'll add more thought to that maybe in next week's AMA once this large core update is complete. But for now, thank you all, and hopefully we'll have some good news for you by Friday or latest early next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
That's great, Herman. Thank you very much. Very encouraging to hear that the wheels are still, or the rubber is meeting the road, so to speak, with regards to the EVM release. A lot of the community members have been looking forward to this for quite a while. It is very important for us, and we've never made any bones about this, that the focus is always on the core development effort, not so much on hype or peripheral activities. Um, as you guys know, the dev team and Herman work extremely hard, and it's good to be able to celebrate another milestone that is forthcoming, and that Herman just discussed. It's not the first time we've been here. We've been, when it comes to the initial TGE, as well as the mainnet, testnet launch, and various other milestones that we've achieved in the recent past. It's great to see that the development team are very reliable in terms of the continued progress that they make. I think that that's a big asset. That is probably the main asset of the Cherry project, is that we can continue to rely on a very competent and visionary developer core who continuously stick to the roadmap and meet the goals that have been laid out, which I think compares quite favorably to a lot of the other projects out there that seem to often become mired in very stagnant development progress and are left in the doldrums for years. And that includes some of the very big projects out there. So it's very encouraging to see the continued success of our dev work. Of course, that means as well that we have more to offer the market. And obviously, as I've been discussing over the past while, there will be a close business support to this development effort. And the EVM release will indeed make the network even more attractive to build on. So we're looking forward to being able to push forward with that. I spoke to you guys about this a little bit last week. I think that well, what I might do is, we had a couple of successful, I think we call them office hours, where the community would be able to give some input onto the things that we're working on from a business perspective. Obviously, we can't really have office hours on the development side because, as intelligent as the average Cherry community member is, I think it'd probably be a bad idea to ask them for cryptographic advice, because it's a very detailed and technical thing. But I would appreciate if on Friday I'm going to finalize the time within the next couple of hours. Actually, I just have to check my schedule after the call. We'll do about half an hour, 45 minutes of discussing some of the things that we have in the pipeline from a marketing perspective. You can give your input. It's always good to have an almost focus group approach to these things, because that saves time and money on our end, and it means that the community and the team can get more out of the resources that we put towards marketing, business development, etc., etc. So please come along. It will be in the afternoon, I think. Now, just thinking of the UTC time conversion, probably 1 p.m. No, 1 p.m. Sorry, 2 p.m. UTC on Friday, I think was when we'll have it. 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I'll just check after the call, and we'll take you through some of the things that we have planned. I was working away yesterday on the investor letter and community newsletters that will go out very soon. That is, of course, dependent the on the development release, obviously, to some extent. But that will be interesting for you guys to read. We'll put some stuff in there that we possibly haven't discussed already. But aside from that, as I explained as well, we have a lot of marketing material that is ready to go out. It will be a very appropriate time to do so as the EVM launch gets underway. So over the next couple of weeks, you'll start to see an uptick in those things. Any advice or input or feedback you can give us on those things is very appreciated, because unlike some of the more technical things, this is something that you experience as, avid crypto investors or Web3 participants, however you want to phrase that, you will always have some good input to give us, and there are some very insightful people in our community. So we'd like to get your feedback on some of that. As I explained last week, we're working on, and I have the plans for a mix, a marketing mix that touches on all different kinds of media, which will be good for you guys as well to be able to draw people into the community. What we're going to do is there'll be kind of three sides to this. There will be the formal marketing that we do, which includes content. Then there will be on top of that, and we're going to be more active in our social media channels as well as marketing picks up. And then aside from that, the third kind of dimension to it is, of course, the assistance that you guys can give in terms of pushing things forward. I had a look on CoinMarketCap there today, I think, and I just noticed that there was some good comments on there, which were well upvoted. So that's the kind of thing. That's a very small example, but it's an example nonetheless of the ways that you guys can help in a small way. Obviously, it's our job, so we're the people who are directly responsible for it. But at the same time, any help that you can give in that regard would be appreciated. So that's kind of the main news I had. I'm just going to check my notes very quickly to make sure I didn't forget anything. So yeah, on Herman, as he mentioned, will be administering the rollout of the EVM launch, and then I'll hopefully talk to some of you guys on Friday regarding business development and marketing and stuff like that. We've been busy over the past week as well, talking to some of our partners, close investors, on what kind of things they're working on that could possibly fit into the Cherry kind of patchwork of things we're working on. And that could be anything from Web3 to more conventional tech issues. So we're hoping as well that will kind of bring as many eyes into and onto the Cherry project, and also it will kind of build out the ecosystem as well a little bit. So that should be quite good. Now, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to check my notes again. Oh yeah, the only other thing that I wanted to mention was we will be hosting meetups. I've been going to a lot of meetups and talking to people about Cherry, forcing them to listen. Over the past 4 or 5 months, actually. We're going to kick off our own meetups again fairly soon. They might be more small scale and more focused and more constructive, but they'll be good nonetheless. And we're hoping, and this kind of has to be ironed out, I have to talk to Herman about this at some point, is the idea of having kind of hackathons and stuff like that. That would be a bit further down the line in the next few months, but it is something we're thinking of at the same time. We had quite some success with some of the meetups we had in the past. We're going to try and do them as efficiently and with as little overhead as possible next time around. But it's always good for us to have a presence in the real world. I think it's important, and I think that it gives a good representation of the project when they can, put a face to a name or voice or Telegram account in the real world. So that's more or less the things that I wanted to cover. I'm going to hand you over to John now because I believe that he has a quiz lined up. Some of you noticed, I've been having some very strange issues with my previous Telegram account because I changed phones and stuff, and my mobile network have basically locked me on my own number for the moment. So there are some people in there in my old Telegram account messages that I had, 1 or 2 that I was supposed to send previous prizes to from a couple of weeks ago. If you weren't sent a prize, then please message me on my new Telegram account, and I'll try and get those prizes to you in the next couple of days. And with regards to today's quiz, I'm going to announce the winners probably tomorrow when I find out. So very best of luck in the quiz. I'll post the details of Friday's chat very soon this evening at some point in our Telegram group and on Discord. And hopefully some of you can join me on Friday, where we're going to talk more about the business side and marketing side of Cherry, and hopefully you can share some insights that will help us to really push forward with and capitalize on all the excellent dev work that has been done. So with that, I'm going to hand you over to John, and he's going to do the quiz. And I'm sure I'll talk to some of you guys later in the chat anyway. Cheers.